welcome back. Will Worsham joins us now for this week's Speaking Legal discussion. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Good to see you, Will.
Thanks.
You ready for this week's question?
Sure.
Are you ready?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
It's a doozy.
All right.
When we got married, my husband had significant debt. We took out a joint loan to refinance it. When we got divorced, he was ordered in the decree to pay that debt. I just got notice he is delinquent, and the finance company is threatening me and my credit if I don't pay it. How can they do it when a judge ordered it was his debt to pay? I'll bet you this is a pretty frequent kind of question.
It really is. And you have to kind of walk through the whole process and have an understanding of exactly who's party to different lawsuits, including the divorce. And the key thing to understand here is the finance company was not a party to the divorce case.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
So if they're not a party, the judge can't order anything, particularly to modify their rights. And so if you either became a joint debtor or co-signed on a loan, in a divorce decree, a judge can't say, well, that company can't come after you before because they relied on you in extending that credit.
That's why it was extended.
Right. So the fact that the judge ordered that the husband was to pay it doesn't mean that the ex-wife is not ultimately at some point liable for it if he fails to pay. It just means he's the one that's supposed to be making the payments.
Because her name is still on it when they refinanced it.
Well, yes, when they refinance the debt.
Her name is on that one.
That's correct. So the only way for her not to be liable on it is for it to get paid off somehow. So sometimes it could be refinanced. The ex-husband could refinance that debt in his own name.
Right.
That would relieve her of the obligation.
So they can come after her then?
Absolutely, because she agreed to be liable on that debt when that debt was originally extended.
Are there ever any extenuating circumstances?
Well, I'm sure there are always extenuating circumstances you might be able to come in, but really her remedy here is going to be to, if she ends up having to pay that debt in order to save her credit or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
she's going to have a contempt action in the original divorce case against the ex-husband. So she can file a motion for contempt and say, Judge, he didn't follow your order. He's in contempt of court. You need to order sanctions. So she can get a judgment directly against him, which then she would have to collect. Theoretically, the judge could actually, because it is contempt of court, put him in jail for not paying that debt.
Now, could some sort of lien be put, for instance, if he's working but just not paying his debt, before it becomes her big problem, can she get the judge to say, buddy, you got to pay, we can put a lien on your paycheck?
Really probably can't do that directly, that situation. That would be the finance company would be the ones that would be in the position to get a judgment against him
Okay.
and then garnish his paycheck. But that's a whole lot more work than coming and collecting from her.
They don't care.
They want their money.
They want,
Yeah.
It's what you agreed to.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
would a prenuptial agreement have helped in this situation at all?
It wouldn't, because she signed on to that debt. So a prenup is only really going to affect, once again, the people that are parties to that agreement. Okay? So if
gotcha,
the
yeah.
finance company would have to somehow agree that, hey, by the way, if you ever get divorced, we're only going to look to him for satisfaction of this debt.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
But
Can't
if
imagine
she
that I
pays
ever
it
would.
off, but if she pays it off,
Yes.
and then she goes to court to do what you said, he's in contempt. But what are the odds that he's actually going to pay her back, though?
Yeah,
if he's not even going to pay the bill,
could be
is she just
difficult.
totally up a creek?
The situation there is the judge in that scenario has a lot more leverage to make him pay her than a judge would have to pay a finance company because of the contempt of court issues.
But if she pays it off, she makes his credit rating look real good.
She can certainly help. Absolutely.
So basically, he wins and she loses, and she's out the money, but her credit's intact, but so is his.
Unless we go to court for the contempt order and take
I
that
would take him to
remedy.
court, that's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
lawyer.
would.
So, and you can't, for instance, you get divorced and you go, yeah, all right, judge says I have to pay for it. If you were to call a credit company or something and say, I assume this debt, is that not going to help either?
What motivation does the finance company have to take somebody else off as
Oh,
an
no,
obligor?
Yeah.
I understand, but I mean,
Right.
it's like there are all these things that people want to know, but the truth is, if you sign for a debt, you are in debt.
Until it's paid.
That's
Until it's
it.
paid.
So the only way to do that would be to refinance it in one person's name.
Right.
Usually with a different company.
And that's real good. If he's not making payments, they'll loan him money.
I just feel bad for her. I
We
do.
all do.
I hate to hear stories like this.
Indeed.
All right. If you have a legal question for Will, you can email him at wworsham@color10.com. And of course, as he did today, he'll answer your question on the show.
Even if it's not the answer
Always
you
good
want to
work.
hear, he'll answer it.
That's true. All right. Up next, we're going to be talking to Candace and Brian about making strides for breast cancer and how you can help. Don't go away.
Get his shoes. We have to run.
Why? Where are you going?
I'm in labor.
The moment you've been waiting for
Folks!
has finally arrived.